new knowledge on the problems that we're facing now. There's a lot to do, and probably I'm not as dynamic as I was. The report tries to, now the bigger question is it just racial discrimination, or is it, does it together make up a system of apartheid? The report looks at the definition of the apartheid as it comes in the Apartheid Convention, looks at the three major conditions: the inhumane acts, the fact that it is done within an institutionalized regime, and third, that those acts are committed with the intention of maintaining this apartheid regime. And based on the evidence, the authors concluded that Israel has imposed an apartheid regime on the Palestinian people wherever they reside, whether they are in Israel or in the occupied territories or in the diaspora. Analysis we have on that website. But then it started to grow bigger because of... Nobody is singling out Israel. Israel is singling out itself by demanding that it be recognized as an ethnic state when it is multi-ethnic and multicultural. Israel singles out itself when it enacts laws that discriminates among their citizens based on religion. At this time and in the 21st century, this is totally unacceptable. This is in violation of the UN Charter and in violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that criminalizes any discrimination based on religion, sex, race, or ethnic origin. Richard is a world-renowned expert on both issues, which is, if they say that the law says this, that it says this, that the references and reports we produce are very sensitive, whether we're writing about women or we're writing about government. I don't think that we will be seeing another 50 years of occupation. I think the status quo is untenable. Things are changing on the ground, and not only in the region, but I think public opinion in the rest of the world is also changing. The apartheid regime in South Africa was dismantled not only because of the internal struggle of the South Africans, but because the world became less tolerant of an apartheid regime discriminating against a huge segment of its people. And I think also the world will become less tolerant of Israeli apartheid unless Israel changes. And I'm hoping that reasonable people within Israel will see that this is the right time to dismantle such policies. First, when you talk about governance issues, not many people would want to fund you. Even please take a decision accordingly. They don't have to take everything that came in related to regional integration. This time we were requested to look into... Apartheid, according to international law, obliges member states to act. So according to the Apartheid Convention, apartheid is a crime against humanity, and it is a threat to world peace and security. Hence, member states, if a country is determined, or if it is determined that the country has imposed an apartheid regime, then each and every member state has a responsibility, first, to not to recognize that apartheid regime as legal, second, not to aid that country in maintaining the apartheid regime, and third, for all member states of the United Nations to work together to make sure that this crime ends and that the apartheid regime is dismantled.
Huh? With three different rowing. This is like the no-frills rowing. Okay.
Well, the report is not just anti-Israel, it's anti-Semitic. And it's anti-Semitic because it is based on a big lie. And the big lie is that this country is an apartheid state. Now, that's going to come as a big surprise to the 15 Arab members of Knesset. It's going to come as a surprise to the 150,000 Palestinians from the West Bank who cross the border every day and work in the state of Israel, to our integrated universities, hospital systems, our malls, our shopping malls, our restaurants. There's not separate bathrooms, there's not separate rooms. There's no apartheid here. It's actually deeply offensive not just to Israelis, it's deeply offensive to the real victims of apartheid. And so, of course, we're going to reject it, and we're going to reject similar efforts by the UN. This is only one of many which single out Israel, apply a completely unique standard to Israel, which by definition is anti-Semitic.
Sort of policy problem. Close associated with the president.
First of all, I wouldn't use the word occupation. The land of Israel is our homeland, has been our homeland. It's our tribal land for close to 4,000 years. We can't occupy our own homeland any more than, say, Dutch or British can occupy England or Holland. And when you talk about the world, much of the world is not focused on this issue, whether it be China, India, Eastern Europe. There are parts of the world where, yes, this is a controversial issue, and the issue of, say, settlements is a controversial issue within Israel itself. But yes, we have to address the attempts to delegitimize us on the basis of our relationship with the Palestinians.
It's around one issue. One issue. And he's a very serious guy.
The settlements are an issue, but they aren't the core issue. There was an Arab-Israeli conflict 50 years before the first settlement was built. Since that time, Israel has made several peace offers to the Palestinians that have been rejected by the Palestinians, most frequently with violence, and they rejected it not because of the settlements. They rejected it for the same reason they have rejected every two-state solution going back to the 1930s. The price for them of accepting a Palestinian state is prohibitive. It means accepting a Jewish state, and they can't do it.